welcome to NFA Studio. I'm Kristen Wagner, COO of NFA.
And I'm Reagan Wagner, CEO. We're glad you could join us today. Hey, this month is Financial Literacy Month. Now, over the course of the last few months, we've been kind of going over different things like budget and goals, and we talked a little bit about debt last month. But this is one of your favorite months.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about financial literacy.
Yeah, financial literacy is very important. Some people think, there's a myth that you have to be wealthy to know about finances and to start investing and things like that. But that is a big myth. So don't think you have to be wealthy, and start somewhere. So the first thing is obviously creating a budget, which we've talked about lots of times before on our podcast. So just stick with your budget, create it, and save money.
And it doesn't matter whether they're worth $10 or $10 million. You need to have some type of idea on what you're spending, right?
For sure. And live within your means. So that's something that's been, very top of mind for a lot of people now because of inflation being so high and everything's more expensive, and you're buying the same things but you're spending more money. And so how do you adjust that? So identifying what you need and what you want, and the differences, discretionary, non-discretionary, and knowing what those are and where you can cut back is important.
Is there a difference between needs and wants?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is.
Oh, okay. So we need to be aware of that and know that what we want may not also be what we need,
yes,
especially during high cost times, right?
For sure. And build an emergency fund. So make sure you have an emergency fund for those, unexpected, non-discretionary expenses that come up, as well as the discretionary expenses. So just have an emergency fund available for those things as they arise.
Is there a rule of thumb that you go by, like how many months they should have back in expenses when you're building that emergency fund or that war chest or that just in case money?
Yeah, typically you want to have 6 to 9 months of your mandatory expenses, mandatory monthly expenses. So you want to calculate that using your budget that you have, and make sure that you have that put back in savings or somewhere that's a liquid where you can pull it if needed.
Very good. What else should they consider?
Another thing is just to educate yourself, and by listening to our podcasts or other podcasts that are out there, and just learning online, research. Anything you can do to educate yourself is important in Financial Literacy Month.
So if you had to pick two things that are your biggest, most critical things that our listeners and viewers should really focus on when they're thinking about how do we educate ourselves on finance, what would you think those are? The top two things they should do?
So being, a financial advisor, I would say one thing would be to reach out to a financial advisor for advice and also to help you plan for your future for retirement. The other thing would be, just continue to protect yourself. So by having that liquidity for emergency expenses that arise, as well as just protecting yourself with insurance and risk management is important as well. So something happens in your life, whether it's death, disability, it can wipe out all of those savings that you've been working so hard to save for. So make sure you have that risk management section covered as well.
Yeah, so you're thinking money today, money tomorrow, and then money for the future, and then some type of risk management feature to include insurances to protect what you've worked a lifetime to build, right?
100%. And we just came off of Easter, so happy Easter, everyone. I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter holiday. And I have a fun financial fact about Easter is 81% of consumers celebrate Easter, and they expected about 22 billion of spending in spring in 2024.
Oh, wow.
On Easter festivities and candy and cards and
that's a lot
Easter
of eggs.
bunnies, chocolate bunnies, I think is the most popular thing sold around Easter time. So anyways, just a fun financial fact.
How about those little peeps? You get into those little peeps?
Terrible. They're terrible. My kids love them, but I don't understand it. I think it's just the bunny.
Too much marshmallow for me.
Yeah, too much sugar. Okay, well, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being part of NFA Studios. We look forward to serving you. Thank you.